Bitcoin has closed a monthly candle under 30,000, resulting in a decent sized correction upon the monthly candle open. In today's video, we're going to be doing a complete technical and structural analysis on the higher timeframes and smaller timeframe to discuss the next move. Let's go ahead, guys, and get into the video. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. We're here to talk about Bitcoin on the higher time frames and the smaller time frames, discussing both the monthly candle close, the monthly candle open, the short-term price action, the technical data, and the higher time frame trend. We're also going to go over the economic data and a lot more, including the DXY and broader markets. If this is the kind of content you're interested in, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the comment button, and of course subscribe to the channel. We do daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the charts, the data, the technicals, the facts, no emotion, no hype, no BS, pure raw data, guys. You can also find us on Telegram if you're interested in that kind of content and you want more of it throughout the days. You can go ahead and join us on the second link down below. You've got access to charts, updates, analysis, videos, information, educational posts, news events, and so much more, guys, in this channel. It is the second link down below. Now, if you're interested in joining the VIP channel, you can join the VIP channel where we have daily trading signals with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses. You can find all the information in the pinned comment. You can find our entire trading track record right over here, and you'll get access to two channels, a VIP group and of course the exclusive group chats. Go ahead and contact me for more information. Let's get into the video, guys, starting off with the market data. Currently, we have obviously closed out April, and April closed out relatively okay, but again, we didn't close under 30,000, so not too significant. For May, we are currently down a few percent. This has not actually registered that. We're down around 3% for the month. Currently, we have seen liquidations bump up to 363% in the last 24 hours. We're at $132 million, and obviously 24-hour volume moving up as liquidations rise. We're up 89%, sitting at 76 million in those liquidations. Absolutely insane, guys. We've had a lot of volatility in the last 24 hours, a lot of price action, and of course, this is a decent reflection of that. The volatility index is 2.93 for the 60, and for the 30, we're sitting at 2.02. So not really a whole lot of change there, guys, for the volatility index, more or less sitting around the same. Those liquidations in the last 24 hours have been mostly from long positions. Obviously, the monthly candle closing below 30,000, we saw quite a significant crash in about a 5-minute candle, resulting in over $70 million in longs liquidating in that 5-minute candle alone. So brutal price action, very volatile, very intense, guys. But let's go ahead and talk about DXY, broader markets, and then Bitcoin. So DXY is still green. It is still above our support. It is still looking quite decent here. Again, guys, as long as the DXY remains above this support level, we're not really expecting the stock market to break its local resistance. We're not really expecting Bitcoin to really push too strongly past 30,000. Of course, the DXY is inversely correlated to the Bitcoin, to the cryptocurrency market and the financial markets. So if the DXY does rally, if it goes up, we do expect those markets to either experience weakness or correct. Opposite expects if the DXY drops. The DXY drops, we expect the markets to show strength and obviously rally. Now, the key trigger point is this downward descending trend line here, and of course, the lower support range. If we do lose this lower support range, we expect the markets to massively rally. We expect a huge move for the markets. That huge move will of course be the S&P 500 breaking through its yearly long resistance, the Dow Jones breaking through its yearly long resistance, and of course Bitcoin being able to push back above that $30,000 level. If the DXY also breaks above this downward trending diagonal level, we can expect a potential continuation upwards, and that of course will not be ideal for the markets, targeting around 104 to 105. Let's go ahead, guys, and quickly mention that the economic data is coming out quite aggressively this month. We have a lot of news events coming within a very short period of time. We have FOMC, guys, on the 4th. We have NFP, guys, on the 5th. We have unemployment on the 5th. We have core inflation and inflation on the 10th, and PPI on the 11th. So in the first half of this month, we're going to get a whole bucket load of economic data, and all of these news events can potentially shift and move the DXY and thus impact the market's systematic risk and actual risk in real time, and completely alter the directions or reinforce the directions of the price action, irregardless of what the TA or the charts are suggesting. So keep that in mind, guys. The news events take priority over what the structures and the technical data are suggesting, as news events are driving forces. They directly influence the price action, while structural analysis and technical analysis is a reflection of the price action, okay? So news events take a higher level of precedence over technical analysis and structural analysis. So if we do get a drastic shift or a significant shift in the narrative that is being provided currently, we can expect the markets to thus react opposing that narrative or in relation to the new narrative that gets created. Again, we won't be able to tell what it is. We'll have to find out the data. We'll talk about it on the channel closer to the date. Let's go ahead and get into Bitcoin, guys. Now, I wanted to briefly interrupt today's video to discuss my favorite exchange, Bitget. If you're looking for a safe, honest, reliable, and accurate exchange, look no further than Bitget. You can sign up by the link in the description to support the channel and get access to 3 exclusive perks. That being up to $5,005 US in trading rewards, up to 15% discount on your trading fees, and exclusive access to our MegaWhale promotion campaigns that we run every few months. Alongside that, guys, Bitget is a non-KYC exchange, meaning you do not have to KYC. It is completely optional. Bitget also has a protection fund that secures user assets against external hacks and threats in the space. Alongside that, guys, Bitget offers up to 125x leverage on futures with extensive amount of trading pairs and liquidity on the market. I highly recommend signing up to Bitget. It is the exchange I've been using for over a year and a half now, including all of our members. If you're interested in signing up, trading there, and supporting the channel, you can do so with the link in the description. Thanks for listening. As you would know, Bitcoin was challenging this $30,000 level for a little bit over a month and a half, closer around to 2 months. And 30,000 is a significant level. And as you would know, 30,000 is that yearly low of the prior bull run cycle. It's a prior bull run bottom of that bull run, okay? It's a major yearly long support. We have seen it in prior cycles represented by this solid horizontal red line. We saw a bottom of the prior bull run over here, acting as major support back in 2014, around $433. We saw a similar thing back in 2018 at around $6,000. And we're seeing that exact same horizontal sitting around 30,000 from the prior bull run cycle. Now, we have to identify this bull run support actually doesn't really develop until halfway through, if not the end of the bull run. It is created during the first bottom of the bull run, and it is created during that bear run cycle, and when it is lost, that results in a significant pullback, which actually takes us to the low. We can see every single time that level is lost, we end up creating a bottom, and from the bottom, we bounce back up. Now, every time we are able to close a monthly candle above this level, the macro trend flips. So if we're looking at the macro levels, and you don't even have to talk about this from the 4-year cycle perspective, you can ignore the 4-year cycle and talk about it from a structural perspective. The $30,000 level is a key trigger point for the trend to flip macro upward. It is a macro flipping point known as a trigger point. It is a macro trigger point to trigger a macro uptrend. It will initiate and it will confirm / validate the trend has the strength to push higher, and it will validate the fact we are in a macro uptrend. Until then, we are not in a monthly uptrend, we're not in the yearly uptrend, we're in a weekly, we're in the daily uptrend. Both of these we'll talk about in a second. So 30,000 is of utmost significance. Another thing I want to point out, every single time, guys, we close above 30,000, very soon after, we end up going to our high of the dead cat bounce in the prior bull run. If we look at the high of the dead cat bounce in the prior bull run, represented by the dotted trend line, in this instance sitting at 48,000, every single time we close a monthly above it, we actually end up retesting that level within about 5 months. So if we do close over 30,000, there's even more support saying we're going to continue upwards, and the next target will be 48,000 on the macro charts. Let's go ahead, guys, and get into the daily charts. What is the charts looking like? What are the technicals saying? And then we'll go back to that brave new coin liquid index chart, do a technical analysis, and then into the short term. So currently, the daily trend is still very much intact. We are still in our uptrend. However, uptrend has been weakening. The uptrend is weakening. The uptrend printed a higher low, or sorry, should I say a lower high? And this is a sign of weakness in the trend. We have structural, we have pattern, and we have technical weakness in the trend currently. As you can see, we have a extended period of consolidation / deviation at 30,000 to 28,000. During that period, we have had weakness in the RSI. We have discrepancy between an uptrend in price and a decrease in momentum. This is a reflection of overall weakness. Along with that, we can also see the market cipher B, another momentum indicator, is suggesting and confirming exactly the same thing. We see a crossover here of weakness in the market cipher B to the RSI indicator, which again is suggesting a decrease in momentum, weakness in momentum, and obviously weakness in momentum equals weakness in volume, liquidity, volume, speed, and velocity, and all those 5 things make up price strength, okay, or strength of price action. So if we want to look at the strength of the price action and we see that momentum is falling, we can assume that the strength of the price action is falling as momentum is leading, or again, momentum is derived of these technical indicators, or should I say characteristics of indicators or characteristics of price action, and price action is derived of exactly the same characteristics. So we see momentum falling, these are generally falling, if these are generally falling, the strength of price action is generally weakening as well. So we have seen that now play out on the charts. We have seen a monthly candle close under 30,000, which was more than likely expected as discussed in yesterday's video. And we have seen now a pretty strong rejection from that 30,000 point moving back downwards. However, we are still in an uptrend, right? We're still in an overall uptrend on the daily, on the weekly. When does the uptrend end? What does the short-term price action look like? We'll get that in a second. However, currently, as long as we remain above 24,400 to 25,200, the uptrend still remains intact, at least from a structural level. Under around about 26,500, the technicals are going to be suggesting that the uptrend has been lost, and I'll show you why. If we look at the Gaussian channel and we look at the market cipher A, at around that point, at 26,500 point, we will have lost the 50 EMA and the midline on the Gaussian channel. Both of these are particularly effective at predicting the overall strength of a trend on higher time frames. So around 26,000, we would have lost the uptrend on the daily, but around 24,400, we would have lost our uptrending support, which is a 400 plus day long support, I think. Sorry, 255 day plus long support. Again, if we lose this level, we'll be flipping a major support as major resistance, and that could push the price down. However, until then, if we remain above 25.2 to 24.4, the uptrend could still develop and push upward. Let's go ahead, guys, and talk about the Brave New Coin Liquid Index, and then we'll go ahead and get into short term. So one more chart I wanted to talk about was this particular chart right over here. As you can see, Bitcoin has bounced from the midline of the Gaussian channel, and again, I've just been circling these, but you can see this is kind of a cluster of price action to look at. That is our $30,000 range. As you can see, the Bitcoin price has bounced from the midline of the Gaussian channel and is now currently retesting the upper band of the Gaussian channel. Again, these are key points of resistance. These are key levels to be watching for, and it is lining up with 30,000. So we have structural and we have technical confirmation that not only is this level a key level or a key trigger point, but it is a significant level of resistance. So we go ahead and bring up some more indicators, such as the weekly Bollinger Band. We can see we rejected from the weekly Bollinger Band at the top at the same time as we retested or deviated above 30,000. Another really phenomenal indicator at predicting the overall strength of a trend. According to the Bollinger Band, we are still going to be in an uptrend until the midline is lost. If we drag that midline across, we can see where it is. It's sitting around 25,200, which again relates to this exact level over here on the chart around the 25,200 level. Again, confirming that we have an uptrend until 25,200 is in fact lost. If we go ahead and bring up some more indicators, such as the market cipher A, you can see a very similar thing. We are currently sitting above 25,500, 25,200 to 24,400, which is of course this congestion point or this confluence point according to the market cipher A. We have our 50 EMA, we have our 15, we have our 17, our 22, our 26, our 28, our 32, and our 4 EMA within this cluster of price action. So again, a decent level of support in which the price could come down to, retest, and bounce from. Keep your eyes on those levels. Let's go ahead, guys, and get into the short-term price action. As we can see for Bitcoin here, we had a lot going on, guys. We had, of course, our downward descending resistance on the smaller time frame. We discussed this in yesterday's video. We said if we break above this diagonal resistance, we can expect a move towards this resistance range. However, we expect this resistance range to be a strong rejection point and a point in which we will most likely reject from. We actually saw a deviation, a rejection, and we're closed underneath this trend line on the 4 hour. That was incredibly bearish. In fact, we took shorts over here. I made around 28,000 Australian, which is awesome. And we did actually end up selling around about this level over here, around 28,600, which was good to see. However, the price has crashed significantly again upon this monthly candle open, which was again this candle. We saw a strong pullback of around 3.16%. Absolutely brutal price action going on here, guys. We have dropped all the way back down through our next major support level. So if we look at our current support zones, what is the price action looking like? How are we looking? As you would know, for the correction to extend on a higher time frame, we need to lose this lower support. The support between $26,800 and $27,000 needs to be lost for the price to continue downwards to 25.2K. So technically, we are still ranging at the moment. However, we do have overall weakness on the daily chart, on the 2-day chart, on the 3-day chart, on 12-hour chart, as per this chart over here. So the probability of a break over 30,000 while we remain in this range is reduced. Okay, so we do have a lower probability of a break up currently than we do for a breakdown, and that has been quite consistent since we have deviated and lost 30,000. Moving back to the smaller time frame, guys, we can see our short-term horizontal ranges. Every single one of these green zones represent a liquidity zone or a strong support. As I said already, we generally ping pong between supports and resistances. So we touch this resistance, we reject, we come down to the next one. We have broken through this resistance, we reject, we come down to this one, okay? So we are looking for a short-term target of this lower support level, provided we cannot find temporary support on the current diagonal support level we are developing, which I'll go ahead and draw in now. If we go ahead and drag our diagonal across from this low, all the way across over here, we do have a temporary diagonal support. And by temporary, I mean very temporary, as it hasn't been validated with enough tests, but we do have a decent volume chunk over here reflecting this support level as a liquidity zone, and therefore it could act as a temporary support or buffer between where we are now and of course a higher time frame correction towards this next support level. We've gone ahead and put it in as this blue line. So for the short term, guys, if we lose that diagonal trend line I just showed you, we are expecting a continuation downwards. If we continue downwards, the lower we go, the higher the probability we retest this zone. If we retest this zone and lose this zone, we are continuing down to 25.2 to 24.4, which puts us as a high time frame threat for continuation even lower. It is not looking good if that occurs, okay? For the short-term continuation back upwards, if we want to see the bulls regain strength, guys, we have to come back up and break back above this diagonal resistance, which we have now lost. This level was support, it is now resistance. The moment we corrected down below that level, we saw a massive, massive correction. Of course, if we want to see the price regain strength, we're going to have to see this entire pattern invalidated. We have to see the price break back above this blue line and continue through 30,000. Until 30,000 is reclaimed, the bias remains in the bear's control. It is still short-term bearish. I would still expect a higher time frame correction, potentially into the midline, into the Gaussian channel, into 25.2 until that level is reclaimed, guys. I'm going to go ahead and quickly finish up the video with a higher time frame technical analysis, and then we'll wrap it up. So 2-day chart. How are we looking on the 2-day chart? Gaussian channel, 50 EMA, market cipher B, RSI, all showing that we have an uptrend, but it is a weakening uptrend. This is going to be very much reflective across all time frames now, besides the smaller time frames. We have decreasing momentum, decreasing market cipher B, again decreasing momentum. We have divergences popping up. We have the price pushing into our smaller time frame moving average. Okay, we have the price making higher lows, and we are now pushing towards our 50 EMA and Gaussian channel. We can confirm that because on the daily, we have essentially pushed towards these levels. So again, as we know, the higher time frames are more smooth versions. So if we want to get more accurate descriptive versions, we go to a smaller time frame. On the smaller time frame, this has already happened. if we go down to a 12-hour chart, we can see we have rejected from the upper band of the Gaussian channel. We have broken the midline of the Gaussian channel. We have broken the 50 EMA. We are targeting towards this lower level again, which happens to be that next support level on the higher time, on the smaller time frame range, guys. It all adds up. Watch these levels. The strength is not there. Bears are now in control. The price isn't looking good until we get that monthly candle close above 30, or we come back down and retest some of these higher time frame zones of liquidity on the higher time frame chart, such as 26,500, 26,000, such as 25,200, 24,000. I'm ending the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. Go ahead and contact me for Crypto Academy courses. Learn how to trade, learn how I trade, learn how I analyze, learn how I do everything, guys, from fundamental analysis, technical analysis, structural analysis, risk analysis, and so much more. Contact us here for more information. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in tomorrow. See you then.